So this is going to be my second video in my series about the science of the bass drop. This video I'm going to be talking about synth risers. Synth risers are a fairly common element of a lot of EDM genres, and basically they're a way of building tension. They're a tool that has a lot of different tonal changes that create this sort of powerful growing feeling. Most commonly it's going to be have a pitch bend, a slow pitch bend up, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So what we have here is we have two different synth risers. This first one is a very simple one. Like I said, it's just a pitch bend up, note being held down the entire time. And this type of synth riser is just sort of your bread and butter. You can use this in most situations. You want to. This specific example has multi-oscillator slightly tuned. That makes it a little bit wider and sort of sits back a little bit further. I'd also suggest putting on reverbs or doing some chorus to help make it sit in the back a little bit more. But it totally depends on the song. And this type of riser is the basis of making a more complex riser. It's also something that you can throw in more simple parts. It doesn't always have to be before the drop. It could just be some way of leading into a new section that is intense. It's not necessarily the drop. And yeah, there's a lot of different ways to use it. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it at this current speed. And then we'll talk about it more. So it doesn't sound that interesting right now, but it's because that's all we're listening to. If you go back to a lot of your favorite EDM songs, you'll notice things like this in the background during drops. It's something that when you throw it behind your build-up, behind the part right before you drop, it can build a lot of tension, and most people aren't even going to notice it. But it's a sort of subconscious way of building something up. You can hold Option or Alt to time stretch, and sometimes these sweeps, these risers will be super short before a drop. So you might throw this like one measure before a drop, and it would sound something like this, and then goes into the drop. There's many different ways to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and get to this more complex riser. And then talk about what's sort of going on here. I'll go ahead and just play it first so that you can hear what we're doing. But yeah, here we go. So this has a lot of stuff going on. This actually has two different oscillators. Each one is doing a slightly different thing. We have this multi-oscillator. Both are being pitched just like we had them pitched up here, and both are being sustained. The note is being held down the entire time. But in this one, the multi-oscillator, an additional way that it's building tension is this amount knob on the detuning gets slowly turned up, and I actually have another video I could probably link right here where I specifically just talk about that sound. But that's what one of the oscillators is doing. We also have this chorus being slowly turned up, and basically, so that's the sound. If I'm gonna play this synth riser normally, that's what it sounds like. If you slowly turn up this chorus, it just starts to give it more room, and that's sort of the effect that we're going for with this. We want to make it sound bigger and bigger. Then we have this filter 1 frequency that basically we're using this like a volume knob. It's a different way of doing volume though. It's cutting out all the high frequencies, but since there's not a whole lot of low frequencies, it sounds like it's pretty much off when it's all the way down. But if you hold down your note and then turn it up slowly, it's a great way to build up tension. You're bringing in more and more frequencies as it comes up. And that's that. We have this LFO 1 rate. This is an effect that we have on this wavetable oscillator. This is just a square wave. But if you see down here, LFO 1 is controlling the pitch. So it will give this a pitch wobble. But also the reason we don't hear it when we first play it is because this mod wheel is controlling the amount that this gets pitched. So currently the mod wheel is all the way down, but if we bring up this mod wheel, this rate is very slow, so we're not really hearing it. These are both parameters that are turned up. Let me turn up this rate a bit so that we can actually hear it. So as we turn this mod wheel up, it pitches the pitches the oscillator more and more. So those are two different elements that we turned up slowly to give it this tension building effect. Oscillator 2 mod, like I said, is this multi-oscillator. Let me go ahead and follow this. Basically, it's turning this up. It builds tension. And then we also have, like I said, the mod wheel. At the very end of this, it comes up a bit, sort of plateaus, and then comes back down. And that gives this sort of resolving sound. It makes it sort of complete and feel like, okay, now the drop's coming. It's a good way. Experiment around with a couple of these, bringing them back down at the end to sort of give the feeling that this buildup is ending. And then finally, you have this pitch bend, which is the same as up here. And actually, down here we have a RV 7000 that the dry wet knob is slowly being turned up. So let me turn on these oscillators again. Oh shoot, there we go. This RV 7000 is basically you're just turning the dry wet up to make it move further back and seem bigger. And that's basically it. I'm going to end this video for now, trying to keep it short. I'll likely do another video where I build one as I'm recording and talk about the creative process a little bit more. But hopefully you got something out of this. Thanks.